Hello, I'm here with Carolyn, and Carolyn is visiting from San Francisco, and she had a session with her son, Falcon. And I said, well, would you like to do a hat chat while you're here? Because your story is amazing, and how you found So Happy to Learn, and the experience of how So Happy to Learn is for all kinds of learners. Now, I remember when you first contacted me and you said, well, my son has epilepsy, and will this work for children with epilepsy? And it was a heavy case, and I was like, I don't know. But the good thing is I was like, come on in, let's see what we can do. And you were so good about going through all the material, watching all the videos, asking so many great questions that you figured it all out, and you made it work for your son. And I remember you came last year for a visit and you'd been at the program for a little while.
2 years, about 2 years.
Yeah, well, you came, yeah, and he was like not really doing anything. He wasn't reading or writing or anything. And then we had our session today, and he was just like going with the flow, making up stories, doing his happy sheets. So I'm going to let you tell your story and why you think So Happy to Learn is good for all learners. But for me, what I learned from you was parents have to do the work. You can't just go, oh, this is great. I mean, I sat and I watched you do the work. I saw you go through every video. I saw you look at all the different components. And then if you didn't know how to do something, you ask me. And I always tell all the moms, like I told you, I can answer any question just like that. And if I can't, I'll figure out how to answer it for you. And then we work together as a team on how to teach or learn. But so anyway, that's a little background of how we met and how you got started with it. But it's been really great. So I'm just gonna toss it over to you. Say whatever you want to say about your experience with So Happy to Learn. And
Well, I was a homeschool mom for many years, and so it wasn't curriculum and all that wasn't something unfamiliar to me. But with my youngest son, Falcon, I was at a loss. I was like, how do I teach this child? He's not responding to anything I've ever done or with any of the other kids. And kind of went through the dark ages with him, just like completely lost on how to react, what to say to him, to teach him anything. He couldn't count past 10. The letters were coming and going and not sticking. The colors also he was regressing with that because of his seizures. I was really at a loss. I think when I went and just searched all over the internet, and your website wasn't anything that I'd ever seen before. It was just something new, and I'm like, this, and I read it, and I'm like, Down syndrome, okay, whatever, it could work still. I started watching the videos, like, hey, if she can do this with the kids with Down syndrome, I know she could, the miracles can happen for Falcon. I know it. I just knew it within me, the way you spoke with the children, the way you worked with them, and how the books were enlarged, and I'm like, this can work. And so that was when I made the decision to start the program and to learn about the program and just look at all the different components. And it was, very beautiful program.
little one knocking at the door, which happens, and it's just fine. Okay, so what were you saying? That you decided that you could probably
make it work.
You can make it work.
Yeah, I remember reaching out to you, going, I was reading everything I could, just soaking everything up. And I reached out to you, and you were like, yeah, we can make this work. We'll make this work. I'll help you problem solve. And, Falcon at that time, his seizures were so bad, his behaviors was rough. Couldn't get him to the table without hitting, kicking, or screaming.
Yeah, I remember that.
Videos of him just crying, and just all kinds of words were flying out of him. And I just remember just helping me solve this situation, and it just welcomed me in. That's pretty much it. Just welcomed me in, answered all my questions.
And I feel like with Falcon, as with all our learners, I taught you how to meet him right where he's at. Not like, hey, you can do better than this, or hey, you sit up, or you do what. You just met him right where he's at. And like in today's session, did you notice how I met him right where he's at? And I wasn't trying to be like, oh, you can write a sentence, or oh, I know you can do this, or oh, you could write that neater. And look at all the stuff that came out of him. Each page was a different story with different colors, and then I would write the sentence of what he said, and then he'd copy it. So I think that's really what it's about, is meeting our learners right where they're at and building up their confidence. Like, hey, it's okay, because they're not used to that with most other therapies and their teachings.
Yeah, I mean, right now when we go through sessions, I don't have this goal where today you are going to capitalize this, the sentences of the beginning of your sentence. I'm going to just take whatever you give me and relish it and appreciate it. And I think that was the biggest gift I've learned in your program, was just appreciating what our kids give us and to show them that we appreciate them, and whatever they do is treasured. And I think that's allowed him to just take down those walls and say, Mom accepts me for who I am. And it's allowed him to just flourish and blossom in a safe place, knowing I'm not going to judge him, I'm not going to correct him. And it's just, his ideas are wonderful, his thoughts are amazing, I love to hear him, and he's talking more, he's happy to talk, and I'm not going to correct the way he pronounced something, I'm not going to correct the way maybe the sentence flow might be a little off, I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to take what he says and be so grateful for it.
Yeah, and then we know in our mind that we've got a plan, like, okay, like in a year or 2 years, we know that he's going to be writing his own sentences underneath. So we're modeling like, okay, what's that? A scary snowman with blood all over him or whatever. It's like you write down the words and he copies it, but you just know that he's gonna be writing complete sentences one day. He's going to be expressing himself. But with our learners that are unique, it could take a really long time. But the most important part is they have that love of learning.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about your program, is realizing my son Falcon will always be a lifelong learner. We're all lifelong learners, but really he will be a lifelong learner, and that is okay.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm just so excited to walk with him along this journey, just to see him grow and learn, just as a lifelong learner. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I have been so finally at peace at just finding this program. Like, yes, this component in my life is just fitting exactly where it needs to go.
And one thing that's interesting about you, I think other people feel it and notice it, but you really articulated it. This is a program about us taking care of ourselves as teachers, taking care of ourselves first, and enjoying what we do, and not being like, well, IEP says this, we got to do this. It's like, wow, how can we get colors and numbers and shape? How can we just do it? It's fun. And how do we take care of ourselves at the same time, Like, I know your home, you're like, oh, I like how Miss Brown's house looks. I'm going to make my house feel comfortable for me. And that's okay, because I think sometimes we think like we're the mothers and we have to take care of everybody else. We don't have time to, have pretty plants or whatever it is that makes us happy.
Right.
And I've always been one, I play music that I like. I like classical music because it's relaxing. But you as the teacher, you have to feel comfortable and you have to feel good, and you have to have a book next to you and some nice water or whatever.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm special, I deserve this. And then that rubs off to our children. Our children are like, wow, this is, you know what I mean? It's like new. And I think I really liked the way that you saw that and you embraced that. And it was like probably a little shift in how you are as a teacher. Because I think all of us we were that way till we realized, hey, there's so much more to it than just getting the work done,
Definitely a shift. I mean, I think at one point, at the beginning, it was like, I got to fix him. I got to fix things, and before I can relax and enjoy life. And I realized, no, this isn't the way to live. It's not about fixing him. It's about enjoying him where he is now. And then for me to learn how to enjoy life and what life can bring me, I'm not going to just stop until he's whatever, in my mind, what perfect should be.
Right.
And that, I think a lot of parents fall into that trap. We just stop our whole life to get that child fixed.
Right.
And then we stop living.
Right.
And so, no, it's time to live. It's time to enjoy the fruits of our life, just to enjoy life and what it provides. And
yeah,
just exciting because that's what your program allowed me to do. It helped release me from that prison that I was living in, that boxed in, okay, we got to meet these goals by this certain time. And I'm like, oh. And I'm so glad I'm free now. It's like,
and that's why I'm glad we had this chance to talk. This is like an unplanned hat chat. Like we were just getting ready to go in the garden and take a picture and say goodbye. And I'm like, let's do a hat chat because you have so many insights into how this program has worked for you and how it works and why it works. And I watched you all along going like, yes, she gets it. Yes, she gets it. Oh gosh, I want everybody to get that. I want everybody to get that. And people are slowly starting to get that. Usually like once one person gets it, then another person gets it, then they're like, oh, this is how it works.
I think it took me a while. I mean, I really had to watch everything, but I felt like it really resonated with me, right? And I was like, I want this piece that she has as a teacher, and I'm like, this is how I would have wanted to have been taught. This is how I would have wanted my older children to have been taught.
Yeah.
And
I think I'm going to interrupt you there because I think that is the key. And I've always said that I became the teacher that I wished I had. And I wished my teachers, I thought like, how do children learn best? How would I have learned best? And I took from the best teachers I had, which were very few, like maybe one, not very many,
Not very many.
And my parents tried the best they could, but I never really had the teacher that I wished I had. And that's what I have strived to be all these years. And it works.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot through the system of education, we've just lost a big part of our spirit or soul. It's just wiped out from all the corrections and feeling humiliated
and comparisons and all that. And that's why I always tell my families, like, don't compare, because when I'm working with a child, I'm never looking at one child and going, well, Falcon, you know what? Jordan's doing this and Falcon should be doing that. It's like everybody is truly a unique and capable learner. And when you see that, man, the gifts just start popping out,
Absolutely.
And it just gets better and better and better. So
yeah, I've always, watching you teach the kids just brings a lot of joy. Every day it was just like I felt this huge weight and darkness just lifting, just watching you interact with the kids, watching the kids respond back to you. I could feel the laughter within you, because sometimes the things that they say, and I could just feel that happiness. And I'm like, that is true happiness. That is someone doing something they really want to, love doing and to be around.
And that's why I want So Happy to Learn. That is my mission. It's not like creating a program, like here's a curriculum, print out this, do A, B, and C, then you have that. You have to see the whole picture. And I've always said it's like a tapestry. But when a parent like yourself sees that and implements it, it means the world to me, because that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
I'm excited. This web that you've built, this tapestry, is just growing and growing and growing. And so, just one parent, and it not only just changes the way we teach, it changes our lifestyle, and it touches other families and other parents. And it's just, I have found so much joy teaching other kids now, as well as my own. And I have fun. It's really, really enjoyable. It's really fun and joyous. And I just hope that spreads out to the parents and so on and so forth. And hoping that, the world will change this way, bit by bit, slowly. That there's another way to teach our kids.
Right.
Or all kids, I should say. All kids.
All
There's
kids.
another way to interact and teach with their kids.
Right.
And that's what So Happy to Learn is. It's not just a curriculum. It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It is.
So.
Well, gosh, what a treat here. Let's cheers.
Cheers.
Carolyn got to try the special water.
Magical water, yes. Go check out the brewery.
Yeah, from the water brewery. I told
I'm
him all about the
gonna
water
carry
brewery.
a bucket home if I can. If they'll let me carry a jug.
This
home.
is a wonderful. Those of you who come to my house know we get our water from this place called the Water Brewery, where the man who runs it just pours so much love into his water, and it's his mission, and it's nice. When I gave Falcon a sip, he wanted 3 glasses of it, and his face just lit up. So it's nice.
I
water.
felt a calming, just calming feeling, and so coming back here again, it really feels like sometimes like I'm a college student coming back home again. It's been so. I was so excited. I get to see Mrs. Brown again. I get to see Mrs. Brown again. Coming home.
Carolyn, thank you.
Thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Falcon has turned into such a pleasure to be around.
He is a pleasure to be around, isn't he?
He really has, and his ideas, his thoughts, and
following directions like, hey Falcon, give me the phone. You can play with the cat. You got to go outside. He's like, okay.
Yeah,
Not a struggle.
No, I mean, it's amazing. Just the 45-minute sessions of just working and being where he's at, me respecting him where he's at, and just giving him that structure of that 45-minute time, what's to expect. It just
Yeah, and this is another reason why I wanted to talk to you. We could probably talk forever, so we don't want to go on and on and on. But you had it as tough as anybody has it. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when we have other mothers come in and say, oh, my child's running away, or oh, my child's, I don't know what to do. You've worked through all of that because your child was as difficult as it comes. And you worked through it and you got to that part. And I have lots of students that have been the same way. But for me, again, to have a parent learn and do that is just amazing.
I was at my wit's end by the time I got to you, if you remember. I was like, this is it. This is my last.
That's what you said. This is my lad. This is okay.
This is
why
it.
Not? Just try it.
Yeah, and I was at a point like looking at boarding schools or a school place for Falcon, because I can't teach him, I can't keep him safe. He's running off. He's doing crazy things. I just don't know what to do. It just completely out of control. And I think you helped me give the words and how to work with him, how to calm. Basically, his cortisol's just all the things. I remember the tuning forks, the sound therapy, everything, the diet changes, the special liquids and diet, everything has really changed him.
We have to get we have to balance ourselves. We have to be balanced, and then our learners need to be balanced, and it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, it's been, this second time down here has been so much easier in many ways, because that first year was we were still working our way through things, but he's a different kid than we were 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. However.
And it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing, and we are learners for life. Like John Fisher renamed the program "Learners for Life." That's what
John Fisher.
It's not tutoring with Miss Brown. It's learners for life. So anyway,
I'm excited to see just the next couple of years with Falcon.
Yeah. Oh, it's just all good things. All right, well, we're going to go out in the garden and say hi to Falcon and Falcon's dad and brother. And
Yep.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.